Greetings and good morning. Today, all right, back up, ladies, back up, back up. Here we go, here we go. Today we're gonna do a tour of our setup for our ladies. So if you're a first-time viewer, we have 24 hens here in our backyard chicken setup. We have their 12 by 12 enclosure. Within it is a 6 by 6 coop, and then they have this kind of fenced in area to run and muck about. So let's get started with our setup here. The first is this deck box, which they've gotten dirt and poop all over. I keep my egg cartons in here for when I'm collecting eggs. Obviously some pine shavings. We are doing the deep litter method. I got their mealworms in here, some scratch grains. Weather's getting colder now, so they're gonna start appreciating the scratch grains a little more. The roof is a metal tin roof, which is shiny in the summer, which I think is a pretty good hawk deterrent. So we haven't really had any trouble with hawks around. As we continue around, here are our feeding tubes. We've got 4-inch PVC that goes down to a 45-degree elbow, which is perfect. I had these guys on the end there, but that made it kind of difficult for them to get in there when they were younger. Now would probably be fine, but the way this is now, the food doesn't pour out of the bottom, and it's not just sitting on the floor the way this is. So this has worked very well. And then of course I cap them when I'm not filling them. And hey, let's quiet down, ladies. Holy moly. Then when I do want to fill them, I will take off the cap. Obviously this would be kind of a pain to pour directly into. And I'll put this 6-inch to 4-inch adapter on here, which gives me a much bigger space to pour into. The gutter feeds down into their water barrel, which is piped down and over to here. So they've got several waterers there. As you can see, we have black welded wire on the entirety. It's closing any potential access points for the birds. And at the bottom of the enclosure, you can see we have a skirt, and this comes out about 1.5 feet or so all the way around the coop. Something that I wish I had done better was their nesting boxes, so I'm probably gonna have to take this off and completely rebuild it, because it took me a long time to get this gutter up here, so this was getting hammered by water. I'll tell you what, let's throw these girls some worms so they settle down here. As you can see, my cup here is one of these painter cups, but it works great for getting into this box. Okay, here we go. Is that what you want? Okay. Hey, there's some quiet. Okay. Right. This box has been nice. I think I got this around $100 at Sam's Club, so it wasn't too terrible. Anyway, I built this out of cheaper ply and painted it a little bit, and then kind of just didn't finish it. But as you can see, it's functional. It works for now, but it is kind of deteriorating a bit. So lesson learned here. Should have done a better job. As you can see, it's coming off over here. So I'm gonna have to, at a minimum, revisit this. I think I've got some water coming in here, but this is their nesting boxes. We've got 4 of them. They generally use this end, and every once in a while we'll get some eggs in here. And then obviously I put some rocks down along the skirt. Kind of a pain. I don't know what I would have done differently here, but they forage for stuff and they'll kick the rocks. Like, I just raked this all up, but the rocks were out pretty badly. We are in Western Pennsylvania, so the hot months are hot and the cold months are pretty cold. So I recently added some of this corrugated plastic. Had some leftover screws from the carport that I built to help, because the wind is going to be coming in from that direction. So to help this front face take up some of the wind. I think that's pretty much for the exterior. Let's head on in. So as you can see, I put some tree limbs I cut off from back in the forest in here and kind of screwed them in place at certain points. And these have worked pretty well for the girls. Around 13 of the birds will nest up in a few up here in this rafter, and then a bunch up here, as you can see, evidenced by their dookie. But that's been working pretty well. I do have an automatic door for the coop, but I don't use that because there was one night where it was closing and a chicken tried to get in, and I don't know, it almost seemed like it had them pinched on the nest cam, but it was dark, and so I couldn't see the nest cam up there. I couldn't see what was going on, so I hurried out here. Hey, honey. I hurried out here, and the chicken was fine, but I haven't really used that since, and I honestly don't know that I will use it again, because every night I come out here and I close up this door and lock them up. So in the coop, as you can see, we have more hardware cloth at every entrance here, because that would be plenty for a predator to get in here. This goes right outside, so that part isn't in the enclosure. This one is exposed on the roof. It overlaps, so again, a predator could climb up there and get in. Did put some windows in here, which for wintertime, these will probably be closed up. As you can see, we still have venting at the top, so that'll be nice. I think the birds that roost out here in the winter will migrate probably into here when it gets colder, but we also have a couple lay spots in the coop over here usually. I did a separate video on the deep litter method. But basically it's the white bag of pine shavings that you saw in my box, and I'll come out every month or so, actually probably not a month, maybe a few weeks, and add, you know, more to it. The sleeping situation inside is, I'll get several up on that, you know, natural tree branch I put up there, and then a few in here. When I built this design, I took chicken math into consideration and made it so that if I ever need to build out another 6x6 spot here, that I'll have space to do that in the area. The water would be fine still on the bottom, and their food wouldn't be impacted. So I made it so that I can certainly do that. Let's see what else. The ground is contractor sand that I got from a local landscaping supply place. So as you can see, it's got big pebbles in it, and it's got dirt, and it has worked very well. This is, you know, we're going on 9 months now, and I'll take this, what is this guy called? It is a super fork. I don't know, but it works great for going in and giving it a shake, kind of like cat litter, just at a bigger bigger size, to get out the big chunks, and then I'll put that in the wheelbarrow and I will take it over to our compost. For interim stuff, because I'm not doing that super often, but for interim, I'll just rake and get it mixed in. Now, looking at this, you might think that this probably smells terrible, but it really doesn't. Both the deep litter method and just coming out here and raking stuff around a bit keeps the smell to a very, very minimal kind of situation. Here's some of the oyster shells that I have for them. Need to refill that. I have been baking their shells, drying those out and crushing them up, so I'll be using some of a more reusable, recyclable solution for that. I think that's pretty much it. I have enough roosting space for all 24 birds in here. It'll probably be a little bit cozy, but I think in the cold winter months, stink bugs. I think in the cold winter months they'll be fine about that. Let's see what else. So let's talk about outside here. As you can see, the grass is looking, a little picked at. We are in the fall at this point, so I'm not real sure how this is going to go throughout the next year. This was all grass, and as you can see, they've kind of worked their way at that, and so now it's just becoming a big dust pile. The heat pump, they would kind of go all around the back of that thing and take dust baths back there, and that thing was getting clogged up with feathers and dust pretty bad, so that's why I built that thing around it, and that's done a good job of keeping them away from that, a little more distance, and it hasn't been nearly as bad. They will jump up on that top, and then they'll get up on the deck railing and walk around there. Only a couple of them, but not that bad. These are old planters that I built that we would grow lettuce in, and those were like on the side. They would use them to jump out, and as you can see, they take dust baths in these, and now I need to put more dirt in there. And then there's another one over here too. I think that really encapsulates most everything. But so far, this very DIY solution has worked out well. If anybody's thinking about getting backyard chickens, but you have any questions, post them in the comments. Let me know. Happy to engage with anybody who might have any questions to help out. This is a pretty rewarding hobby. It's nice to have eggs. I've got 24 hens. Right now I'm getting around 20 eggs a day, which is obviously way too much for a family of 4. So I'm supplying several neighbors with eggs at this point. There is a local nonprofit coffee shop that has some food stuff that they use eggs for, so I've been giving them eggs for that stuff as well. But it's not cheap. It's not a cheap hobby, especially when you consider the cost for your building and everything, and then ongoing food. Like you're not going to be making a lot of money doing this. Unless you're able to do it more frugally than I have. I'm probably into the coop for about $2,000 between everything, maybe a little more than that. And I do have a couple of folks that buy eggs for $3 a dozen, $5 for 2 dozen. Hey, that's me. What are you doing? But yeah, don't think of backyard chickens as a money-making scheme by any means. If you're in a position where you can free range and they can forage for all their food and everything, obviously then maybe you can make a profit. But you're not going to be making hundreds or thousands of bucks. So just some food for thought. But it's rewarding. It's nice to have fresh eggs, especially right now with the economy and prices are going up, especially eggs. We've seen several increases here. But again, it would still probably be way cheaper to just buy them at the store, all things considered. All right, folks, thanks for watching. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments. If you like this content, leave me a like and subscribe for more. Thanks.